All right. Pendragon time. Episode 150. Year 563, the Twilight period. Where this is the year where things are continuing to fall apart. We are marching to the Joyous Castle. We have not played in a while, so I will do just a brief refresher. Lancelot's wanted and has absconded with the queen, and left a trail of murders in the castle in his wake. Amongst the murdered, are most of Gareth's kin. The only survivor of the 20 or so people sent to apprehend him and the queen is Mordred, who was regaled the story of how Lancelot showed his true colors and loves the queen and is willing to kill for it. So Arthur has called all of his marshals, all of his what do you call them, dukes and stuff, for a war council. The first time we've had a war council in maybe like 30 something years.
Right.
And the decision has come down that we are marching off to the Joyous Castle. Specifically, we're marshaling in Lincoln and then heading up. So we're going to be going for a little while. Everyone says it's pretty crazy. Like, for what's going on. I think, to put it lightly. But before we proceed, I know, Jim, remind us who you are now, because you are no longer...
Right, yeah, so Erwin met a meager and ignoble death at the hands of the treacherous Deganian family last time.
Yeah.
So I'm playing his...
Lionel.
Sir Lionel. And I guess that this would be his nephew, Godwin. So Cadwalla's son. It was really only a few years, only like 2 years younger than Erwin was.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't have a character sheet set up for him though, but I've got his stats and everything.
That's fine with me. Whatever, you can just do it as you need fit. Do you need a sheet, or are we chilling?
It'd be handy to have one, but
yeah, it makes sense. Let me just... I copied Sir Erwin. Should be able to... Or would you rather just have a fresh one?
The copy's fine.
Make a copy. I made a fresh one as well. So yeah. Anyways, so Garrett, I believe you're heading out, right? Where we left off?
Yes.
Right, because you're basically marshaling for Lady Angrad and basically leading Salisbury's contingent up there.
Yes. Did I commit to the dawdling aspect?
You did. You committed to being really slow to respond.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because again, I'm not sure if that was your decision or if you're just following Lady Angrad's decision, or it's just you both coincide with the same strategy of being like, we need as much force as we need in case things fall apart here in Salisbury.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Is that where you're coming from? Are you coming it from like a cynical force retention thing? Or is this from a conflicted Lancelot, I don't know how to feel about this thing?
It's, less conflicted and more trying to not stoke fires, right? The more we pour into this, the less likely we are to get a non-warfare solution to the problem.
Okay.
And the player knows that that's impossible, but
I know
Gareth, the character, is still holding on to hope.
For sure. Now Godwin would also be marching under your same banners for Salisbury. And how do you feel? How is your feeling about the battle? So let's cut to Lincoln and start in Lincoln, where everyone's kind of marshaling, and this is the first time you're seeing people that aren't just oh, these are not parade tents. Some people brought their parade tents because that's all they can afford. Just they have it's the same shit. But this is, you're oh, it's a very different energy. And How do you feel about a peaceful solution after Gawain loudly proclaims that on the spilt blood of his brothers, he will see Lancelot killed?
I think at that point, Gareth really starts to have the kind of catch-22 moment of, is the world insane or am I insane? Like, one of the two has to be true right now. That this is insane. What is happening is unhinged. The wheels have fallen off. The falconer can no longer hear the falcon. The gyre widens.
How's Godwin feeling about this whole thing?
Oh, I mean, to me, like, there's a thought that occurred to me when thinking about the session. It's like, Lancelot's this larger than life figure, but it's a larger than life figure that like we built up, right? Like, he can do no wrong, or he's the golden boy. It's like, well, we kind of put him in that position when he inevitably isn't, because he's human. Like, or why are we surprised? So march to war because that's what his liege lords have called for. But this feels more just like just something about it feels off. I think maybe to Godwin. I was thinking about Godwin. Like, he would have been a squire during the Grail quest.
Oh my god.
Right, his mom was there with Galahad when the Grail was found. So I kind of like Godwin is like the traits I picked were pretty much just mirrors of Cadwalla's, right? Like, you have that option to just accept your parents. And so I was wanting to play around with the idea of, I guess, maybe Tristan Squire. I forget what his name was. A few sessions ago. It's been a while, right? But that's sort of like, I'm chivalrous, but not so concerned with with all the courtly pageantry and like, kind of like that take.
Right.
But it's more sad than anything, I think. Like, not angry or anything. It's just like, he was supposed to be the best of us. Like, where did we fail Lancelot? That this is the position he's in, and now he's persona non grata for.
For sure. Now, there are quite a few. There's quite a few knights that have, went with Lancelot. Obviously, a lot of Wales MVPs are up there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just like a normal couple hundred people at this. You're expecting thousands. So
it's going to be a proper fight. Yeah.
Does it ever cross any of your all's minds to think that maybe Lancelot is doing the right thing?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, to be clear, Garrett has incredible distrust for Mordred and that side of the things, but his liege duties are so clear and kind of inviolate that he can't switch sides here, right? There's his distrust of Mordred and his trust for Lancelot's side of things. It can't translate into sort of the political aspect, which is rather inflexible.
And so you think, and Gawain's just processing his grief?
He doesn't know what to fucking think anymore. Yes. No. Who knows? Maybe he's just a fucking moron. Maybe the world's gonna fucking explode. Maybe the revelations is at hand.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So your slow going is definitely going to get you. So they did wait for you. They did not like advance past, but now, yeah, it's the early parts of summer has ended, and Arthur's a little bit. You're not the only person to have taken their time. Your own battle skill can reveal that Arthur's forces are, while incredibly strong and hale and stuff. Yeah, a lot. No one's really done this. There's a lot of unknowns for your battle, and we're relying on theory rather than true practice of, especially against someone as formidable as Lancelot. This isn't fighting naked Irish people, or Saxons or anything. This is, or Franks. This is some serious.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So we will march off. We will march through from Lincoln up through the marshes, up into the parts of Nowat where the castle is. And there is not a battle for a few months. Every day we are, you're set up, you dress, you get in your from parade, you line up, and you're waiting for the gates to open and someone to meet you in the field, or waiting for your messengers to get word back. And it's Gawain from Arthur who has been promised this decision, or to be his messenger. He is the marshal handling all of Arthur's forces, right? So everyone is answering to him here. And so he personally, along with maybe like his squire or just a small retinue, will go up to the gates and demand Lancelot step out and save us all of this trouble and fight him one-on-one.
Gawain.
No answer. So, if this doesn't, what do you call it? If this doesn't have a resolution, then they will begin to properly siege. So on the 15th day, finally, we will get our battle. So this is like definitely in autumn. The leaves have changed, right? Gawain has finally taunted Lancelot to come out, and that's when the first time from the battlements we hear, "You'll be sorry I have come out to fight you," from Lancelot. And that's when we'll fight.
Damn.
So who wants to roll? Sorry.
Is he coming out, like Lancelot's coming out to duel Gawain, or is he like they're riding out like for battle?
Yeah. Oh, they're full battle.
Okay.
Yeah, this would be about 1,000 on 1,000, more or less, knights.
Okay.
So Gawain's obviously pissed because he's not getting the satisfaction he demands, and Arthur has the prudence to see how Gawain's like. This is a tactic by Lancelot to make Gawain mad in order to get a better edge, and so Arthur will take over for this battle, setting Gawain even more fucking upset. But he has other knights to think about. So Arthur will actually be rolling the battle here for this fight. So can one of you roll for Arthur and one of you roll for Lancelot? I'll let you pick who.
Sure. I'll roll Lancelot.
Okay. For Arthur.
Arthur's battle is 26 and Lancelot's is 29.
Okay.
So 9 plus 6 is 15. Lancelot will win. You'll be receiving. All right.
No, because Jim rolled for
That's what I thought rolling for Arthur.
Oh wait. Oh, I'm sorry.
21.
I had it flipped in my. Yep. Yeah. Totally. I had it flipped in my head. Yeah. So nice. Lancelot will be receiving the charge.
Ooh, it has been a while since we've had a battle like a first charge. What's that?
Yeah, Damn. No, exactly. Now, this would be an opportunity for me to flex the 6E battle rules for the system, but we're so late in it. I don't want to learn a new system. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm fine. I'm fine with kind of winging it for that. I looked it up, and there's a lot of stuff with passions requiring like the suits of passions and things for that, and I was like, we didn't do that already. We're just gonna wing it, okay?
Yeah,
the rules are good. It just requires the consistent adaptation, which makes sense for the rules. Okay. So we're not doing like unit intensity and stuff like that. Okay. So let's do our charge. You will be charging into knights, of course. I will roll randomly to see the style of knight that you get. Great. Cool. So each of you will be, let's roll these individually. Like this will be representing as you all charging into the knights. So you're getting, I believe, +5 to this roll. Normally you get +10, but these guys are also lanced and things.
Right.
So just +5. You also feel free to be calling on passions for this part. If you feel so inclined to be passionate about fighting here,
Yeah, I'm gonna roll honor. For all his misgivings about this conflict and why it's happening and what its end is, I mean, I think I gotta concede that like this is the first real battle that Garrett's been in that sounds like the ones he read about in the Family Chronicle. He's never. And so I think that stirs his blood. Something is like, well, fuck it. Like, I'm here. It is now. If I'm going to be in this, I'm going to do it right.
Yeah.
And that is success. I think I'm only famous, so I'm inspired +5. So total +10 on my lance.
Okay.
Oh, we like that.
Okay, that's very good. The first, okay, you are going up against a Wales Knight. They are, I don't know if you recognize them exactly, but I don't know. You never really got into a lot of gaming. They're a renowned what do you call it, Gwivil player.
And Lance charging the Welsh Kasparov.
Yeah. And they're getting demolished by your charge.
Nice.
There is one spot though I do want to add to this from 6E, and that is the posture of the attack that you're taking in here. Your options for this, because this is actually kind of new, is when you select your posture, it's your type of your mode for when you're charging. If you fight valorously, you obviously get a free check to valorous, but you must fight two people. You can fight recklessly, which fights 3 for even more added benefits though, like glory and attention, right? You can fight prudently, where you get like a 1-on-1, but it will kind of reduce your army's kind of morale or a broader effort, or you can fight cowardly, where you don't engage.
Okay,
you will use a point of honor.
I'm going valorously. I'll take the check and I'll do 2 to 1 because I got a sword 20. I think I can do it.
Sorry. To be clear, it's the valorous means this is after the charge. So you nail the guy and then you're surrounded. So like the next round you'll be fighting 2. You're not fighting 2 immediately on the charge.
Yeah. Should I be rolling damage or are we just tracking the success?
No,
okay.
You should be rolling the damage for this. That's it.
22. It's 6 damage, right?
Yeah, that's 12d6. It's only 22.
Oh, 12d6. I thought it was 66.
Didn't you crit?
No, 19 out of 20.
Oh.
My land skill was 25 for that, so it wasn't a crit.
Yep. You add 5 to your 14 roll. Yep, that would do it. I'm silly. Okay. Yep. All right, 22.
I mean, you just made the mistake of thinking that I would roll well. That's
right.
Classic blunder.
See, that's how you know it's been a while, because I forgot about your rolls.
Yeah.
Ooh, no.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Loyalty for Arthur. So it's a famous version. So it's like after the battle to become melancholy.
Yeah. Something to point out is that Arthur has not drawn Excalibur for this fight.
Oh, Arthur.
I mean, if I don't know that he's gonna, because then it's gonna be like showing how much it isn't shining anymore. Just show his magic sword ED to the world.
Yeah.
It's shy. Okay.
That's right.
Right.
There's something about it's hollow. You know what I know?
Sorry. You're fighting a hedonistic young Cornishman.
Mm.
D20. Their skill is 17. 3. They're not going to beat you with the 3.
All right.
Also get to do your damage. No, but don't you... Hold on. Isn't there a thing
do extra?
You do extra damage on a charge.
You do damage based on your horse, not your...
Oh, that's what it is. You just use
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and unless I have a better horse than the...
Jeez.
We played 150 sessions and we're still like, how does a charge work?
Yeah.
25. Okay, that's still pretty good. That gets you.
That's not enough to get. I mean, 25 is reinforced plate and shield essentially. Yeah. No, because I get an extra chivalry bonus on top of that. Never mind. Yeah. So I think 22 is the armor break point.
Okay.
I'll fight Valorous as well.
Nice. So check Valor for both of you, as each of you is going to be up against 2 people. Garrett, your training is probably coming in handy. That you spent on the fields the last month or last summer, making everybody try to do these. Unfortunately, your can opener plan has not exactly worked. Just the plate's too strong. They're not reeling. Okay. We are going to be stuck in for this fight. You all can, from what you see from your immediate view, you all have done well. Salisbury has pushed well, and that's all as far as you can see. Right.
Okay.
So with both of you passing, we can say that pretty safely.
Yeah. Do we know how good the people we're fighting are in terms of a number between 1 and 20?
Oh yeah, sorry. I don't think I ever gave you yours. So yours is 19 and Jim's is 17. Because you're fighting the Hailer guy, right?
Yeah. So I'm fighting 2 19s.
Yeah.
And then second question is, does my passion roll continue into this round of combat, or do I need to roll something else?
It's only a round of battle per passion. I think I let crits persist because it's kind of cool. But,
right. Okay. I'm gonna roll Love of Family then. That's a crit. Speaking of,
there you go.
Speaking of, there you go.
Yeah. So I think that's a plus 10.
Yeah.
That
is a plus 10
on famous. That's a plus 10. And now then the sort of rider on top of that is, does the passion remember, because we have to split our sword between opponents.
It gets added to
both. It got it
added to both.
I'm sorry. So I was cutting off your question. I figured out what you were saying.
Okay. Then I'm going to do 5 to one and 15 to the other, which becomes 25 and 15 aggregate.
Nice.
First one is against number 1 with a 15. It's a pass. And then the other one with a 25 is a crit.
Crit. Nice. Love that. Okay.
And I really see this as if the opening charge was him feeling stirred to his personal sense of honor because, like, oh shit, this is the first opportunity, like, this is the first chronicle-worthy battle I've ever been in. As Garrett gets stuck in, this is him going, I am the son of Archibald de Winterborg Gunnet, the son of Sir Aeswin, the son of Sir Gareth. I am the last in a long line of absolute bastards. And I'm here to make my mark.
It's so cool. I rolled like absolute butt, so you're good. I think we tied on one though.
We tied sword to sword. Is it? I think it's either a mutual disarm or neither gets disarmed.
I think it's a mutual.
I don't
disarm.
remember.
So
okay.
I think you will crit the first guy and then get disarmed.
Okay.
After the second one.
All right. Let's roll the 10d6 for the crit damage.
Yeah, let's do the 10d6. Oh, that's
there we go.
There you go. That's the numbers we want to see. That's at least 10 getting through. It's not enough for a major wound, but obviously they're getting knocked over, and
that should be 13.
With this other wound, wait, he took
13. Yeah,
with 22.
He didn't take any damage. Didn't take any damage on the charge.
Right.
13 damage goes through, which is probably not a major wound unless he's really.
No, it's close though.
Close.
Okay. Yeah, he's a young guy. His major wound threshold is actually 14. So, unlucky. And then the guy you fight who ties with you is a weary old knight. Also from actually a weary old knight from Bedegraine, Guinevere's side, who's fighting with Gwyneth. You know, just keep Guinevere imprisoned.
We're on horses, so it's not going to be easy for me to get that weapon back.
No.
I know a squire can hand up a lance. Can a squire hand over a sword?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be calling for my sword from do I still have I do have Indig.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got Indig right before his graduation, so peak squire. This is squire. He's 20 years old. This squire ain't getting any better.
You've waited the most
finely aged squire.
5 years in the making. How strategic. Yeah,
I'm gonna
just
roll
roll and then watch you fumble it.
Yeah.
But no, the 13 gets you. Right. Cool. Oh, a fail would have meant you still got your sword, but a bit like a -5 because you're like, trying to grab it.
I also literally couldn't have failed.
Yeah. So the good news here is that you don't have to worry about that because of your skills here. Cool. Let's do Godwin. Godwin, so you're fighting the Hail Strong Welshman. You're also fighting another old Welshman.
Okay.
Yep.
We don't have any bonus from like carried over from the charge, do we?
Theoretically you should have, like, Well, I didn't roll for it, but obviously when you hit and you do damage, he has to do a dexterity test based on the damage, and then he can fall over.
Yeah, I got you.
And if he falls over, he takes an additional point of damage, and then he'd be on the ground, giving you like a +10. So like technically, like you probably should have been like you crushed him, but that's why I'm not really like worrying that much about rolling your defense and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure that none of you are like just eating it and dying. I think this is more like an elaborate saving throw than it is. Are you making a significant impact into these knights attritively?
Yeah, gotcha. All right, so we're on horseback still.
Yeah,
I'll use my regular sword. I think I'm gonna roll.
So if you want to give yourself +5 against the first guy for unhorsing him, I'd allow that.
Okay.
You don't get +10 because it's not the lance though, because you're too close. So you have to be fighting with your sword. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you only get the +10 for being on horseback.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. I want to call on a passion.
You get +5 for charging, and then +5 for height advantage is how you get the +10. This time you're just getting
gotcha. Oh yeah, okay. Just charging up. This has been a while since we've done a battle.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I was just reiterating.
Let's see here. I think we could try love of family, and this is the Shoulderton family's been attached to or associated with the Queen and Lancelot for quite some time.
Yeah.
But their ultimate loyalty does lie with the king, and so this might be a love of family. It's like we have to prove to ourselves. It's like reaches deep down, not feeling anything for Arthur. Arthur's an old man who's well past his prime, but family, maybe that will give us something, give us an edge in this fight.
Yeah,
all right.
There we go. Crits, both of you crit passions. Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
Quite passionate. This is stirring something hidden within us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's +10. Let's do this. I'll split 7 and 10 because I'm using my regular sword. So that'll give me 22 and 20 for my attacks.
Hell yeah. Right. Second one fights. Okay. I did roll okay against you.
Yeah.
But let's see.
Oh, that first one though.
Okay.
Yikes. Yeah.
So we won. Yeah. So you didn't get any bonus for the first one.
No.
But the second one is a crit.
Yeah, the second one's a crit for sure. Works for me. Does Roll20, when you roll dice like that, does it list them numerically? So like, okay, it doesn't. It doesn't. Sorry, ascendingly. So like, if is the first die always going to be low to high, or no, it doesn't. Okay, it does it in whatever order. Good. Okay. Sorry, I was just rolling to test it. Okay, cool. Yeah. So it is the first one that you rolled. Cool. Well, they will pass. They will do their simple sword damage. I don't think unless you roll literally maximum damage, which would defy the laws of the central limit theorem, but we'll see. Yeah, 16 doesn't. What do you know?
Flash. Yeah.
Ringing of steel on steel. The cries of horses. The random blood spray. You all are basically can't see what's going on outside of your kind of immediate press. You're in it.
That's my crit.
Yeah, 45 is pretty damn good. That's definitely a major wound.
Jesus.
They're down.
Holy hell.
So I did with Godwin like I did with Gorthrin, where I pump size. I don't think he's quite as big as Gorthrin was. But he's got a bit of his grandpa in him.
You've got that 66 damage. That's the sauce right there.
Yeah. And my highest weapon skill is two-handed, but you can't use those on horseback. So.
Right.
Yeah. How I think you say it like deuxième montagne, or like it's like you say second. The second mountain is like yeah. Wow. So you just hack through that young Cornish guy, and yeah, I think the old one is just like, I don't want your smoke, dude.
Yeah. Just like shrugs off their hit.
Yeah.
Lays out the second guy, turns on the first one.
Wow. Yeah. I think there's just kind of like a shock of I think this is not just you, but in general, like over the field, there's this sort of shock of like just how either ineffective or greatly effective everyone is in battle, and it's just really showing. And unfortunately, we're about to see here. So we will. This battle is about to draw to a close. So don't bother rolling for the next round. Because you have cries about the king, protect the king, protect the king. So you all are clashing, and that's when confusion rings out before you hear that Arthur and Lancelot will truce for the day, and you don't know what happens. Rumors abound, but apparently Lancelot got to Arthur, and Arthur was on the ground and refused to kill him, or it was Lionel who did it, and it's very confusing. But the point being is that they've spared Arthur's life if he would draw the field, or if he would stop fighting for the day, and he agreed.
Arthur's free. He wasn't captured.
No, he wasn't captured. Lancelot let him go. Yeah. But for your crits, each of you should be getting whatever you rolled for your crit as glory for that base as a base level. In addition to it, for the 3 rounds that were in this, I believe we should all get 75 glory per round. So 225 plus your crit. Plus the total math is, so it's 225 base, right? Then you're getting crit passion glory equal to the number, and then every sword crit or lance crit, like your weapon crit, is an additional 10.
Okay,
not bad. So I think I come out at 252.
Yeah.
So I didn't crit on the charge, just the one sword. And this is 564, right? We're calling this Battle of Lincoln.
563.
563. What'd I say?
564. No, this is the Battle of the Joyous Guard.
Oh, the joy. And joyous is spelled all French.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah.
But no, it was that. So, as you all are camping and being like, "What the hell?" The tending to the wounded, seeing your friends, and then and asking, when they come by, asking if anybody has a spare horse, kind of stuff. That's when the common thread of the story is coming out of what happened. Bors unhorsed King Arthur, pulling off his helmet, and Lancelot nearby tells him to stop, and refuses to sanction a blow against his king, which sends everybody here confused.
Yeah. This is like fuel for the fire for Garrett's. Like, how do you not see there's more to this story? Like, how are we not digging into this story more? There is no explanation for what just happened if we take Mordred at their word. There is zero explanation. Right? That doesn't happen if Mordred is right.
Yeah,
it is.
This is maybe where Godwin sinks into his melancholy of just like, what are we? This is not
right. And then
farce.
There is, I think there's a little bit of a selfishness as well, like a selfish malaise of like, so who's expendable and who's not?
Yeah.
Whose principle is like obviously the king. Like no one's saying like the king shouldn't be like the king is should be expended. I mean, maybe some people are, and they'd be based, but at the same time, a lot of people are just like, what are we? Yeah, like what are we even doing if we're not even like going to fight? Like, why wouldn't he fight? What the hell? Why are we, bloodied and, are we going to fight tomorrow? And that's sort of like where we're gonna pick up here, because that's where Arthur's gonna have his council.
Mm-hmm.
And it is on this faithful night that a bishop from Rochester comes carrying a papal bull from the Pope himself. Now, the king is not necessarily Roman Christian, right?
Mm-hmm.
He did get crowned and stuff during his invasion when he was a wee lad, so he does have a nice rapport. But I would allow Garrett to be in this council, given your importance. But Godwin, I think you can be on the sidelines, or you can play, another character here. You can imagine any sort of like your Gwaines, your stuff here, right?
Yeah. He could be attending the Earl of Wessex, like if there's someone there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the Earl will definitely be here.
Probably,
yeah, and in fact, he would probably be like very like Christian and being like, yeah, we should listen to him, or maybe he's Roman and be like, we should never listen to the filthy papists. Who knows? Whatever you want to do. So the point being here is, the bill demands that there's a immediate cessation of hostilities. Second, it demands that Lancelot be forgiven and be welcomed back into the fold. And third, it demands that Guinevere also be released and given back to Arthur. So basically just reset to everything how it was before everything kicked off. And Arthur is not having it, is where we're going to start. Arthur wants to fight again. He's saying, screw this. I didn't come up here. I'm not taking her back. And Lancelot betrayed me. Now, yeah, like that's where we're starting from, and in being like, I want to, he's basically saying, I will pee on this papal demand. My soul be damned. I'm not doing this. And you can imagine there's an immediate recourse from the court being like, Arthur, let's take a beat. Let's reconsider.
Yeah.
But that's his initial impression from this.
Yeah. I think Garrett is also not enthused by the papal bull, because it's like, okay, like what, restart to starting conditions so this happens again. Like this papal bull would be a band-aid over a hemorrhaging wound. Like there is something deeply wrong with this whole cascade of failures that has led to this point, right?
Yeah.
And simply saying, no, everyone go home. We're just going to be back here again next year, like it's going to happen again unless we address what's happening. And King Arthur's let's just throw ourselves at Lancelot again. It's like, how many times? How many days in a row do you want to do this? Like, what do you think can be accomplished? Are you just going to get embarrassed again and again and again until you hope to get lucky against Lancelot? That's all happening in Garrett's head. The difficulty is articulating that without getting accused of treason.
Yep. Well, I think for the time being, you can trust that Arthur still has the wherewithal that during his council meetings, he's not just yes men. He still admires, what do you call it? Opposing views, dissension.
Yeah. I think Garrett is going to try and articulate that anticipating where he's going to draw on the metaphor of the Bourne, actually, of the way that the Bourne fills every year, and basically try and say, like, you anticipate it filling a certain way. If it doesn't fill in that way, then one, you can't just treat it like it did. right? If the crossing is no longer where you thought it was going to be, you can't pretend that the crossing is still there. And 2, you should ask yourself, what has changed in the river? What's upriver that you didn't see that has changed how the Bourne filled? And he's gonna, that latter part,
yeah,
he is going to be staying, while more or less staring directly at Mordred.
I love that. Yeah, I think. What kind of trait would this envision? Is this prudence? Or
this is not prudent. I mean, well, I'm suggesting he be more thoughtful.
Right.
So maybe it is prudence, but yeah, I was thinking of this is a reckless act in front of. That is personally reckless.
What you're doing is reckless, which I think this is very brave of you to do it. So can you test reckless for me?
Yeah,
that'd be fun. Yeah, the king thanks you. Yeah. No, seriously, you release yourself. You divest yourself of any apprehensions, and you speak what your heart compels you to the king.
Yeah, it's like the fucking the giant clackers of Gareth the First coming down and filling Garrett with a certain blasé towards his own.
I think the king might mention that you're more like your father or your grandmother than you appear. God. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree without those gunnets.
Of course not, my lord. We remain as we usually have.
He's open to maybe accepting one of the 2 terms now with your conviction. Because he's definitely not accepting both. That's out of the question. He's not doing it.
Right.
So that's when we can get the fun arguing here. Gawain argues that he should take Guinevere back.
Yeah.
My brothers are dead. I demand justice. My lord, don't handshake with the one who's breaking the realm apart. It's him. Guinevere broke her vows. Lancelot broke his oaths. None of this is good, but one of them has shed blood. That demands recourse. And Arthur waffles on it, so he can be pushed either way. If anything, if he had to decide right now, he probably would prefer to make peace with Lancelot than take Guinevere back.
And I like
alluding to something like that. He wouldn't say it directly, you know what I mean? Like Arthur's too nice to do that, but he would say, "I'd rather have peace than."
Sure, and for the realm, I think peace is probably the better option. Unfortunately, that said, here's the thing: is Lancelot's hands are not clean. Well, Lancelot's family's hands are not clean, and underpinning this very personal thing for Arthur. For Arthur, this is personal. It's between him and Guinevere and Lancelot. For the rest of us, this is that fucking feud. It's that fucking feud that we've been dealing with our entire goddamn lives. And it's finally come to a head. And maybe this is what it needs if we can put this to rest.
Can I remind both of you? I think it was Nesta who returned from the duel with Erwin II. Being like fucking Lionel murdered him, and I had to fucking axe my way out of here. So very much so.
So I think Garrett's gonna throw behind, take Guinevere back. The Deguinees, this can't stand. Oh god! And Garrett's like, but this is what Mordred wants. Like fuck. Fuck. Shit! I've got to roll something because that is so severely difficult to dance between.
Yeah, I can see it being there's definitely a conflict between some Godwin's passions, especially like between love of family and love of God. Like, the Christian thing to do would be to forgive and seek peace.
Exactly.
But,
I was just about to say
his
that.
uncle's dead by these assholes.
And
there has to be some kind of justice.
I was going to say something to the effect of like, like now let's not be hate. Like this is the mouthpiece, the emissary, right? Saying this to this effect. But like, even Christ on the cross when he was dying forgave the soldiers. He forgave everyone. Vengeance can't resurrect the dead. But it can forgive and save the living.
Here's the thing. Garrett's mind suddenly. Garrett thinks, like, how many of us are going to have to die for this fucking feud? Like, people who aren't even Orkneys or Deginnies. At that, he's going to stop and go, why does anyone but Orkney or Deginnies have to die? What if that's the solution, is Arthur takes Guinevere back, but also anyone who's not an Orkney or Deginny steps off the field. If these two assholes want to play it out, let them. And that will play out the sort of broader issue of Lancelot, because he's going to be in the mix. But it also keeps those who have been dragged in by this intransigent kind of bullheaded feuding.
That's like, I think I might have failed to convey this, but the threads of both of these clans is not just their clans. It extends to their proxies.
It's too far spread. Okay.
Yeah. And that people there's friends who feel strongly about it, and now you're making someone choose between their brother and who they really care about it, and you know what I mean? Like there's like I'm not saying not do this, but like
no.
You will force them to make a choice.
No, I think I'm forgetting that this is kind of exactly how feudalism is supposed to work. Like you marry and create these bonds so that these things are not just
yeah exactly.
Shit.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And that the nuclear option is the hostages and the marriages all fall apart and everything's fucked. Yeah, exactly. So like that's the
Garrett. I'd like Garrett, if I can roll like an intrigue or something, because Garrett still doesn't really know what Mordred's end game is with this. Why does Mordred want this chaos? Is it chaos for its own stake, like he can gather power in chaos as a ladder type situation?
Sure.
Is it wiping out a rival? Like where is this going? If Mordred succeeds here, if Mordred gets what he wants, what the fuck is that? And I don't know that Garrett has much to go on but intuition and trying to put pieces together. So I don't know if this warrants a roll even. But
no, unfortunately, Sigmund Freud hasn't been around yet. So
okay,
or more like Carl. This is more Jungian, I guess. But yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna collapse this easier then. I think the loyalty to family versus loyalty to Lord, I'm gonna roll those against each other.
Sure.
Loyalty to Lord would be to side with Arthur, and loyalty to family would be side like make peace.
Sure.
I mean, no. Yeah. All right. So yeah, he's gonna suggest take Guinevere back.
Right, but not. I don't want to shut you down, but I feel like I want to give this to you for free. Because you did mention what you're thinking about, and obviously you are pretty good at intrigue and things like that. But it's in general, you've seen how Arthur is with his own wife. Imagine how he is about being a father. Which is one of the greatest tragedies of Arthuriana, is that the kid born an orphan, evading death, ends up not being the best father himself, repeating the same things.
I mean, that's the whole tragedy of Arthur, is his human failing, right?
Yeah.
It's the I don't know that
being a realm
in sort of pop. Yeah. I don't know that in sort of a lot of popular readings of I know there is something very Greek in Arthur in some writings of him.
Yeah, extremely. I prefer those lenses about how cyclical everything is. That in our greatest strengths and our virtues we sow the seeds of our own demise. It's like incredibly Greek. So, anyways, we will pass forward that that we should accept Guinevere back and keep Lancelot as a persona non grata, and what this means. So, we don't fight the next day, as Arthur chooses his words carefully, and they draft, and that's when like a lot of the camp is getting kind of upset about like what are we kind of doing, and so Arthur chooses to move camp and everybody to Carlisle, which is across the mountains. So you'll be marching up near Hadrian's Wall, down to the other side. And kind of getting there in the late autumn, watching all the woodsmen and peasants throw their pigs into the woods. And
we're traveling north.
Yeah, we will head north from the Joya Castle and across the Pennine Mountains to Carlisle. Yeah, it is definitely chilly. A lot of people are, the fires grow hot or wide and tall to keep people warm. Quite a few knights did not pack for inclement weather, thinking this would be over quickly. But not Salisbury. Salisbury is prepared.
Ready.
Okay, so time passes before we finally receive word that Lancelot will acquiesce to these terms. And that Arthur has proposed a 15-day, get your shit and leave to Lancelot, which is the legal minimum required for injustice terms, without granting any. Right? He could just say, "Congrats, you're a criminal. Go." Instead, he's saying he's giving you the 15 days. It's nothing, 15 days or 40 days is usually like the time for this kind of things, and he's giving you the minimum as he sees it. So anyone who's friendly with Lancelot, anyone who wants to can go with him, and basically he's being banished to Brittany if he steps foot on if he extends his time here in Britain past the 15 days, he is a persona non grata. If then he will be instead just be effectively contained to Brittany, where his homes and castles are. There's quite a few words that happen when they arrive, right? So first off, there's a massive, glorious procession. You can almost imagine the, it's late fall, so the leaves are falling down. It's almost like a Lothlorien-esque, green and gold. The ladies of court side saddled, the knights on the, still kind of slightly injured from your fights before, proceed to Carlisle for their surrender. Lancelot's defense boils down to that the queen is innocent and pure. If you speak otherwise, he would be happily to draw your sword and defend his words and their truth behind them, and lets anyone speak. Feel free to tell him to his face that he's a liar. Not even Gawain will do that.
Yeah.
To be clear.
All right.
He says he kidnapped the queen, for she was to be burned at the stake. The 20 retinue, came for her for their own justice. I stole her away for her own protection, and as her chosen champion, I must do what to protect her as whatever is required. He says he was sent to the queen's chambers under false pretenses and ambushed and called a traitor and attacked from there. Now, no one believes him when he's saying this, unless you believe him.
I mean, on the one hand, we've got Lancelot, who, like, it's been pretty upstanding most of the time, right? Like, there's been a few, where is he? What's he off? But he's always off doing something for the good of the kingdom.
Yeah.
Versus the rest of the Orkneys, who've been cantankerous, divisive. Like, I don't know. To me, it seems pretty.
I think the one problem for Lancelot is the one thing that doesn't have the unimpeachable veneer that the rest of his life has had is his relationship with the Queen, right? There have been plenty of times where it's like they are very close. They are maybe improperly close.
Yep.
And so I can see that spinning out to like, yeah, he's this is the one thing he's lying about. This is the one area where he is not. Like, otherwise he's perfect in all ways. And what man could be perfect in all ways? Ergo, if he's lying about one thing, it's this. Anyone who's had to deal with Lancelot's being fucking perfect would want to jump on that, right? Would want to believe, aha, finally, something that he's not perfect at, something he's fucked up, something where he is less than the paragon.
They were. Yeah. You're spot on, Colin. Like, this is exactly it. And what blindsides so many knights and like people of this time is also the fact that there's been like 3 different circumstances where things had looked really, 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 really bleak, and Lancelot has shown up to either save the day and then B, be labeled or nominated to be like, hey, if something happens to King Arthur, it should be you. And every time he refuses. Like, there's no, like, the idea that he has ambition or like a personal desire at all is like, there's like nothing there like for him except for, it sounds like except for Guinevere, which is like, he describes it as this amour, which is also not for him, but about a greater thing. Like, it's like, he's like egoless, right?
Yeah.
His flaw is he cares too much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find Godwin maybe persuaded by Lancelot. This is unfortunate. It's tragic. You know, when the king calls to war, we're going to march with his banners, but my sympathies lie with the Queen's household and Lancelot because they have been so,
And I think it's such an amazing turn there for you, Jim, because at the same time, these are the people who murdered your
that's the same time they're
cousin. Yeah. But at the same time, they draw on you like, damn, good point. Like,
it's like this one. In many ways, it's like, well, yeah, but then there's the rest of your family that's
This is like to put a finer point on it. Like what Lancelot's saying right now, if I was more eloquent, I would have wrote out the speech here and stuff. But this is like the final remarks of Atticus Finch, like in the court case that doesn't matter. Something like, think of all the things he's done in his life. He's slain giants for the king. He's probably like single-handedly fought 1,000 Franks like in rebellion against him, tilted against elves and saved countless princes and princesses. Personally saved the king's life with a sword, and I think as a personal jab, Lancelot would probably do something like, and Gawain, I've saved you from your own ambitions and temper more times than all of those other ones combined. Just to get a rise out of him, but Arthur is just like, you have no right to treat me like this. He without crying, doing like the stoic male shit of the quivering lip kind of thing of, more than everything he's given, above every other knight, he's given everything, for you. Like, and you've done this. And he doesn't even acknowledge Guinevere when Guinevere returns, right? It's entirely his hatred is just a Sauron-focused beam on Lancelot. And Lancelot can instead of being mad or like telling that Arthur's anger is misplaced, he just says, as you please, as he's been told that, you know, he has the minimum of amount of time of 15 days to leave here, or that he's treated as the criminal that he is. You know, and at his last, you know, his last parting words to the king is, yeah, it's like, you know, as you please, my king. You know, I will, you know, should you come to Brittany, I shall endure. But that's when, you know, and the last thing would probably say, like, but Gawain, you know, but if Gawain comes to these shores bearing a tongue of treason, you know, I will cut it out, and restraint will not be, you know, held. You know, and that's when Lancelot, or that's when Gawain will probably be like, yeah, like, run, rabbit. You know, you have a 15-day head start, but we're coming for you. You know, hide in your prettiest castle, but we'll be tearing it down brick by brick sooner or later. And then the final thing would be like Lancelot be like, I'll see you in the fields, should you come.
All right.
If you feel so compelled, you can go on Lancelot's side and leave with him to Brittany.
Garrett's not going to believe it or not, Garrett, he also sort of believes Lancelot, but he's like, I do see a sin here, a failing in Lancelot. And it's not his love for the queen. It's his abnegation or his unwillingness to curb the excess of his own claim. A guy this influential couldn't have reined in Bors and the rest, couldn't have stopped them from constantly escalating with the Orkneys.
Yeah.
The Orkneys pieces of shit. Like,
but yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Yeah. In some ways, it's the same sin as Arthur, right? If you have the power and you don't use it, then why do you have that power? How is it not mere self-gratification, right? You have let the kingdom fall to shit. Lancelot, you've let your clan fall to shit. This is on you.
Because it's more important to keep the high road and lose everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is where Garrett is understanding a lot more about how Gareth and Archie did things.
Yep. Or the less honorable, because exactly.
Yeah.
He says,
Gareth is like, I've been a knight for 5 years. I am so tired. I'm so tired of this shit.
Why couldn't you have been born in less interesting times?
Yeah, if I just had a little bit more of a run up to all this bullshit.
No. I wonder how this compares to the anarchy. It's like, how bad could it have been?
How bad?
All right.
So Lancelot's going to travel through the kingdom, or before heading to Brittany.
Yeah.
Like, is he getting on the nearest boat, or is he like walking through the kingdom?
No, he'll probably have to get on a close boat. It's not like he's going to be able to, walk down to the Isle of Wight and take a short passageway.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He kind of needs to leave here sooner than later.
Yeah. All right.
So he'll probably be leaving somewhere from Wales, which makes sense because it's close enough. And frankly, like, while he has 15 days, Wales might slow down people and get, if it need to. But he'll probably be here, and then his other stuff will be coming with him later.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
See him off.
Yep.
All right. This is
so. Next year, this will be kind of the closing of 563. Next year, to anticipate, Gawain is obviously going to be spending all winter to be saying, we are taking down Lancelot.
Okay. Like invade Brittany.
Oh yeah. So that will be
he's pushing for this, like the king should invade, or he's just like, no, we're gonna get the rest of the boys together. Okay.
Yeah. That this rot needs to be cut out once and for all.
Okay.
You have not seen Guinevere and Arthur together. From what you hear is that Guinevere stays in the White Tower in London. Pretty much this whole time, and you've never seen Arthur visit. Arthur just stays in his winter. He prefers to stay in his sort of winter estate. During these times, I don't know if anyone would care to visit him or anything like that, but he has been meticulously organizing the chronicles of knights during the Grail period and organizing their deaths for a hobby. So he's not in a good spot.
No. Okay. I feel like Camelot is not a good place to be. It doesn't sound like King or Queen are even in Camelot.
No.
Right.
No. Camelot's, even like this this Christmas, is extremely extremely empty. Think of the round table and the empty seats real quick. Like, first off, the 20 that were slain, or the 19 that were slain by Lancelot, right? Their names placards still on the magic chairs around, right? Now there's probably another like 50 that just went off with Lancelot. You got half the round table left. That's all that's here.
And that was after it was already thinned out from the Grail quest.
Yeah. Now, I would also like to point out that, so the king will be getting convinced basically by Gawain to do this. As basically this is like Gawain's like, I've never, I don't want to ask for anything after this. I am done. I will never ask for anything from you ever again. But as your cousin, as family, I demand satisfaction for the death of Gareth. And Agravain. I demand we finish what we started, and end this. And and that will be enough. Now we could like try to persuade Arthur to not go and just let Gawain do it. Like if you wanted to, you could step in here and stuff. But I think unless you do anything, that's going to be the plan.
Yeah, I don't think you can be in a position to offer a counter opinion.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nothing. It's really tough to be like, listen, we have the same blood. I demand this from you. It's really hard. It's really, really, really hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's Arthur going to really listen to?
Yeah.
I think the question is then it's like over the winter of coming to like the marshals of the different counties, just be like, are we going to follow him? Like, will we, like, our oaths are to the king, but if the king is pursuing this vendetta to the detriment of everything, like, surely we.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
it's
I guess Godwin's like, is there ever a point at which the oath is invalid because the person you swore it to is no longer worthy of it?
Yeah. And if you're wondering if you're alone in your jadedness about the kingdom, you're not. Several nights you've heard from other places in taverns that there's been, they're like, I'm not going to fucking France. I'm just not doing it. I'm not going.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah.
And I guess here's the kind of fundamental problem, right? You've sworn the oath to do this, but you're right. Like, what happens when the oath keeper is no longer worth the oath? But then the knock-on question has to be, okay, but then why is he king at all? Right? If he is no longer worthy the oath, he's certainly no longer worthy the crown.
He is worthy of the crown because there is no successor, is probably the largest reason right now.
Yeah, who would step in? Like, there's
like who stepped in before there was a Logris?
The anarchy.
yeah,
No, and that's
like, I don't know. There's always been a
Warlords?
yeah.
And that's Garrett's point is like those seem to be your only options here, right? If you don't honor your oath to the king, to the crown, then you don't need to honor the crown. And if there is no crown, it's the anarchy, and it's whoever's going to slap together the next kingdom. And is that what we want? That's the double bind that Garrett certainly feels themselves in.
Yeah. I feel like this is a very important discussion to be had, or at least that how the king feels about it, and that this is the conversation to be had as the very first thing when he gets back from France. In the meantime, Mordred will be Rex Pro Temporum.
Fuck!
Yeah, Winterface. Let's do our stats and progression.
Okay.
I always appreciate your counsel. We'll bring this up next spring when I get back in the fall.
Yeah.
All right. Reckless does not go up despite.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just chilling.
Okay.
Yes, he does go up.
Yes, it goes up.
Yeah. Love family does not go up. Lance goes up. And I doubt it, but sword does not go up. Okay. I gotta let my dog in.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. That's it for like those three checked. No aging.
Yeah, we don't really have to do. Actually, now let's do it. Membership, survival, economics.
Mm-hmm. We're survival. I don't think he's
Okay.
I don't think Godwin hasn't kids yet, so it's just his bride.
Yeah, so it's easier.
Yeah.
Ooh. Wait, is a 1 or a 20 bad for survival?
One is bad.
One's
okay,
bad.
we're good.
So like 1 or 2, depending. Yeah.
Yeah, and so these were in order: Yvain, Yvette, Roland, Ellery Weatherwax, Judith, this is Sigbert. We're good. And that's and then Tudwig. Okay. Tudwig is just not rolling. Oh fuck! My bastard son just died.
That might be why.
Mm.
Yeah. Is there not? Don't you have to like roll twice for kids who are like a certain age or no?
Hold on. Let me see what it says. So
child,
he is
there's 2
child.
Rolls. Yeah.
There are 2 rolls.
They're not 1 year old though. They're 2 now, right? It's an infant. They're not in 0 to 1. Yes.
No. So they are just safe.
Second roll.
If that had been a 5, they'd be dead.
Literally. Okay.
I mean, I think that tells the story. They got horribly sick and death's door ill.
Yeah. Don't go to don't go to Camelot. You have to stay here for your kid over winter. Kind of stuff. Wow. Cool. That's sick. The Pax Arthuriana is broken, so the weather is going to be worse this year. Justice events. First Justice event. This will be for Colin. A rich young widow who's infuriated challenges a childhood friend who's convincing. Their dispute is about the ownership of an ox. Meanwhile, you're balancing the stuff of your sick kid. Much better. Okay. That's fine. You just don't get any benefit. But it's no malice. Nice. Okay. Godwin. A rich young widow who's suspicious challenges a poor old widow who's also suspicious. Their dispute is about a brawl over an injury from a hole in the road.
Wow. Ladies, please.
Yeah.
Let's see if justice can be served.
Oh! Yeah, it can.
There will be justice in this country, even if it has to be from my hand.
The road justice.
Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing. Now we roll concern. Your concern, your hate. When you do this, it's your hatred doesn't go up, right? Then you roll your concern. Okay. Nice. Okay. Then the final tally for the rolls today. You're going against an 18 for the weather. You beat my 5, so you both pass. Which means you're
crit industry.
You got a rich year. Finally, a rich year.
Yeah, Ebel. Miriam of Ebel. Very industrious here. No extra from the apiary.
Aw, bummer. You did put all that effort in to get money from Ireland, so you're still getting that extra income from them. Despite the world going to shit, you're still able to get your money and from your colony.
That's what matters.
Are you conspicuously spending still this year?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Jill said you're ending the year 10 up at 82.
Oh.
You're gonna do continents now. Did the same thing where you actually live richly. The last time you rolled richly was exactly 10 years ago. You've basically had normal. You had normal, poor, normal, finally rich. So living the dream.
Love it.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, you have to roll for your apiary again because it got destroyed twice. Remember? You've been trying to build an apiary for like the last 3 years. And it breaks on a 20, and then you rolled 20, and then the following year you also rolled 20, so it also broke again because you remember you had the colony collapse disorder.
Yep. Oh, thank God. That's right. Oh, that was so annoying.
Yeah. Okay, we're still good. Okay, yeah. So you actually got your apiary.
Very sign of the times. Sign of the time.
This is a great year for you. Yeah. You've also ended up another 10.
Nice. Love that.
Or sorry, more than 10. You're ending the year at 128. It's actually like 20.
Yeah.
Basically, your lifestyle, your rich lifestyle has, you're basically breaking even from all your stuff. But then if your lifestyle can be paid for, then you get that extra money back. It's like the idea.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Economy done. Childbirth and household member improvements.
Childbirth. Okay, I don't have any household members to improve, really. Stable roles. Son of Peas Blossom is dead. They are the one who is racist towards Saxons.
Aww.
They are also. They might be my last elf horse. No, I have a son, another son of Peas. Or sorry, grandson of Peas Blossom.
Good.
They're dead. And hold on, I think another one might be dead. The son of Rapid Bolt. Nope, they're okay. Okay. They all good.
Nice.
Someone had his first kid, daughter born, no complications, healthy baby. All that's
All right. Replace it with grandson.
no improvements to household members.
Sometimes it be like that.
Sometimes it's like that. Well, no. I've got like a bunch of glory bonuses that haven't spent yet for him.
Mm-hmm.
We need practice. I'm gonna take some skills.
Skills is I'm just dumping it right into sword. That's where Garrett's mind is.
Reasonable. Cool. What's the final glory calculations?
With this year, actually with this year, 63.
Sorry, I'm just looking at it like the timeline, and we pretty much have like maybe 1 or 2 sessions left.
Yep. Yeah, it must be super close.
So this is basically this might be the last Justice event we do. I mean, until we play again.
Yeah.
I crossed another threshold. I can't change my size, can I?
No, I think you're locked in
That's
after 21.
Yeah. After 21, yeah, that's right.
Or you eat chicken wings.
Or eat chicken wings. Okay. I just bumped sword twice. I know where this is going.
Yeah,
both in character and out of character. I know what's.
Yeah, it extremely fits, Colin. I love it. Great. Cool. So then we will pick up next session with France and the return and everything. So can't wait. Thanks for playing.
Great.